I still have a sense of disbelief that this man that I loved could go out and do such horrific things.
To Liz Kendall, Ted Bundy was not a sadistic murderer who killed dozens of women.
Mr. Ted Bundy, you've been involved in how many homicides?
Oh, we came up with 30.
But the man she loved.
Is it fair to say, at least at first, that Ted Bundy was a gentleman?
Oh, completely. My parents loved him. He was just really it, in my opinion. And I really wanted to marry him.
He was like a father to her daughter Molly, seen here together in these childhood photos.
I adore this man.
They were together for about 5 years, while Bundy secretly began his descent into a serial murderer.
There were two Bundys. The only people that ever saw the diabolical Bundy were his victims.
At first, Liz didn't want to believe that her smart, charming, and charismatic boyfriend could be a serial murderer.
You thought he was innocent.
I did.
Now, in the new Amazon Prime series, Ted Bundy Falling for a Killer, he is seen through the eyes of Liz and Molly, the women who knew him best.
We were like a family.
They're breaking their silence after nearly 40 years in the docuseries and in a book, The Phantom Prince, My Life with Ted Bundy.
Liz, I'm sure you've asked yourself, why not me?
I hate to even say this because it makes him sound normal, but I do think he loved us.
Bundy was in his early 20s when he met Liz Kendall at a bar in Seattle, Washington.
Well, I was pretty smitten right from the get-go.
She was a young, reasonably naive single mother from Utah who met the man who was considered by virtually everybody in society and culture in the 1970s as the dream date, the perfect husband material, a Prince Charming.
But there were two sides to Bundy.
This is what makes 1974 so extremely different. He's determined. He's going to launch himself into full-time murder, and he's just going to keep doing it until he was captured or killed.
One of his first known victims was 21-year-old Linda Ann Healy, a senior at the University of Washington. Bundy spotted Healy at a bar, followed her home, and strangled her in her bedroom.
Can you describe to me what your relationship was like in 1974?
Just subtle changes where I felt like maybe I was losing him.
You thought maybe, worst case scenario, he's seeing someone else.
Yes. Never in my dreams did I think he was out stalking women and then eventually abducting and murdering women.
Over the next 4 months, young women in the Pacific Northwest started to go missing.
There were no clues whatsoever. I mean, it's kind of remarkable that nobody saw anything.
But that changed on July 14th, 1974. Bundy went to Lake Sammamish State Park looking for his next victim.
A number of people that day at Lake Sammamish were taking photos and shooting film. Little did they know the police would want to review this footage.
Ted was able to meld into the crowd. He was able to convince Denise Naslund and Janice Ott to help him with the ruse that he had a sailboat, that he had his arm in a fake sling.
If anybody has seen The Silence of the Lambs, where the killer had trying to get that couch into the van and he's got a cast on, that all came from Ted Bundy.
Can I help you with that?
Would you?
Sure.
He kidnapped and killed the two young women.
Those abductions were very brazen, and in front of literally thousands of witnesses.
Police asked the public to send in any video or photos taken that day.
People saw him, and he identified himself as Ted.
Police knew the suspect drove a Volkswagen and were able to produce this composite sketch.
Your co-workers brought over the sketch to show to you? Was it because they thought the sketch looked like Ted?
Yes. There was something about it that just grabbed my attention. And there was just something about the jawline or something like that that made me think, wow.
And you called Seattle police?
Yeah. I called anonymously to a tip line that they had set up.
There was something like 3,000 potential Teds who may or may not drive a Volkswagen, and he was one of them. But he had this terrific, spotless, clean record.
You have to understand that detective work was organized in a very different way in the 70s. There was no DNA evidence. Police departments didn't even have fax machines, let alone the internet.
Did you ever ask Ted, are you concerned about the similarities?
In the very beginning, I asked him, I said, did you read this? Do you know what they're saying? There's so many things here that people are going to be looking at you, kind of making a joke out of it. But once I started to worry, like, could this be true? I didn't feel safe bringing it up. I didn't want him to know what I was thinking.
As the police investigations intensified, Bundy realized he had to leave the Seattle area.
He had to find a new killing ground. He used the excuse of going to the Utah Law School.
Liz and Molly stayed behind. Bundy drove away. 12 hours later, he killed a hitchhiker in Idaho. In law school, Bundy barely went to class.
He's like a kid in a candy store. He upped it in Utah, and he killed around 4 women in just a matter of weeks.
But one woman escaped, Carol Durant, who managed to get out of his car after he lured her in pretending to be a police officer investigating a crime.
So this is the first time we have an eyewitness of somebody who survives a Bundy attack.
My friend came back from Utah and she said, I don't want to scare you, but it's happening down there now.
What did that feel like?
Oh my God, like the bottom of my world was falling out. It was like, that's just too much of a coincidence. So I did call King County Police and I did meet with the detective. I gave them some pictures of him and they showed him to the best witness from Lake Sammamish. She pulled his picture out of the stack that the detective had given her. She said, no, he's too old, and put it back in the stack.
She had multiple contacts with the police, but it kept coming back, he's not your guy.
It's the winter of 1975, and Ted Bundy's got to find a place where there's not a lot of talk about missing women, so he heads up the mountains to Colorado.
First Aspen, where he finds his next victim, Karen Campbell, a nurse from Michigan.
36 days later, her nude body was found almost 3 miles away.
2 months later, he heads over to Vail and ends up killing 26-year-old ski instructor Julie Cunningham.
He was just not going to stop. He had more relationships with dead women by now than living women. It was all about the hunt.
But the hunter was about to become the hunted. In Utah later that year, he got stopped by a local cop. In his car, a ski mask, handcuffs, and pantyhose with the eyes cut out.
Well, I took him in and booked him. I said, there's something wrong with this guy.
That put him on the radar of Utah law enforcement, and they had this unsolved abduction of Carol Durant.
Carol Durant came to the police station, was shown a lineup, and was able to identify Bundy as the person who attacked her.
He was arrested and charged with the kidnapping of Carol Durant.
At one point, police did show you a photo of the items they found in Ted's car. How could he have possibly explained that away to you?
When he tried to just brush it off of, I need the crowbar for if I get in a wreck, I need to pry cars apart. I need the ski mask for when I'm shoveling snow.
Believing he was innocent, his friends raised money for his bail. While waiting for his trial, Bundy returned to Seattle to see Liz.
What was that time like?
Well, when he first showed up at my door unannounced, I was taken aback. But we started talking again. It's just like, it's just Ted.
Because of our placement in his world is the only reason that we're still alive, I'm quite certain, because people had their eyes on it.
Did that thought ever cross your mind?
That he was going to kill us? No.
Did you think he was capable of murder?
No.
I mean, I still believed he was innocent at that point.
When we come back, Liz and Molly come to grips with the horrible truth about the man they both loved.